The Region 5 RDC held its statutory meeting yesterday. More details in this report. In the earlier part of 2017, a letter from the Ministry of Housing was sent to the Region 5 RDC informing the region that the period for submitting the names of eligible applicants to receive a $50,000 rebate had expired, with only 4 names being submitted. The names that were submitted, however, were disqualified because their income barrier was high and the program catered for low-income residents. At yesterday's statutory meeting of the RDC, the issue was raised again by APNU AFC Councillor Abel Sitaram, who questioned the regional chairman, Mr. Vichin Ramphal, as to why the council was never informed of the activity. The councillors stated that if a letter was sent by the ministry informing the RDC that the period for application had passed, then a first letter informing the office that said activity would take place must have been sent. APNU AFC Councillor Dalston Hudson spoke at length on the issue, saying,
"Nobody on this side of the house is somewhat ignorant that we would be able to sit back and accept that 2 or 3 persons just got up one day and decided that I'm going for a rebate, which is an amount of $50,000. It means that the information must be come from somewhere. Some documentation must have been sent. Somebody must have been able to receive something. So what members are asking is, who has the first document? When did it arrived in the region, so that somebody had a peep of it to tell some group of people to apply for some rebate. We can't accept about some second document. There must have been a force. That's the reason why second came."
The councillors then challenged the regional chairman, Mr. Vichin Ramphal, to comment on the issue, to which he said,
"Back to this matter here that was raised by Councillor Abel Sitaram. Let me say that this has been ongoing for the past few months. I have made it very clear that I have not received any forced correspondence to that effect. The names that were submitted to the ministry, I am not aware of such, and if you want to have further details on it, I will definitely support you, and let us find out from the ministry who is the person that submitted those names."
According to the chairman, he was on annual leave at the time when the second letter arrived, and as such the issue was dealt with by the regional vice chairman and the REO. In trying to explain what transpired, the REO, Mr. Ovid Morrison, said,
"Vice chairman, because this is what the vice chairman relate to me, that he went to the chairman's office since the chairman was on leave, and he asked if there are any correspondence there that he should see. The secretary of the chairman then handed him a set of correspondence, of which I assume when he surveyed, he realized one of them needs some urgent action. That one correspondence is the one that dealt with the $50,000. He brought it to the regional executive officer's office. The regional executive officer, in the presence of the vice chairman, read it and called the Minister of Housing in the presence of the vice chairman, made a plea with the Minister of Housing to grant a concession so that we can submit some names. The minister then informed me, all that time the vice chairman was sitting in my office, the minister then informed me that either 2 or 4 persons were submitted, but their income was above the level and they were disqualified. And she would have been breaking rules and regulation to grant only Region 5 that concession, and the rest of regions could not have gotten this concession.
The members of the House concluded by suggesting that an investigative probe be launched into the matter. Among other issues that were discussed at the meeting included making accommodations for GRA to operate in the region for a few days. This issue was addressed by the REO.
The admin officer and the admin assistant trying to work out a accommodation for the GRA people. Why? The previous section that they had used in the past is now occupied by our transport officer, by our cleaners, and therefore that section is utilized. We have an option where we can ask permission to use that little house, not permission, it's a region Democratic Council property. That is assigned to the regional vice chairman and chairman office, that I think the Women Affairs Committee or one time was used, and if we can use that section temporarily for them, that is in consideration.
The meeting was overall successful as many issues were dealt with. Sasha Ramsaran reporting for Channel 8 News.